Welcome to the 2021 New Zealand National Volleyball Championships. I'm Dave Kildy from Volleyball New Zealand, and we're thrilled to have you here with us on Sky Sport Next for Finals Day. The National Secondary School Volleyball Championships is the largest indoor secondary school sporting event in New Zealand. We've had 176 teams representing 113 schools here with us this year, and it's been fantastic. The school pride, the skill level on show, the talent has been amazing. We've had 20 courts here at Central Energy Trust Arena, absolutely pumping from 8 AM in the morning to 10 PM at night, 5 days this week, another 3 courts at Massey University, and it culminates in this today, Finals Day, where 6 divisions duke it out to see who can be named the #1 secondary school in the country. We're thrilled to have you here with us on Sky Sport Next. We hope you enjoy the volleyball. The skill level is amazing, the skill pride is amazing, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the show.
G'day and welcome to the New Zealand Secondary Schools 2021 Champs. I'm your host Trent Webby.
And I'm Warren Smith.
And we'll be bringing you very shortly the bronze medal match between Rangitoto College and Orewa. Now this has been a big week for many of these teams, and I'm sure day 5 is going to bring a lot of energy, but also a lot of tired bodies. Is that correct, Warren?
Heck yes, yeah. This is, for most of these teams today, it's game 9. So it's been a big, long, hard week, and man, you've got to take a lot of time and a lot of effort to get to this point in the tournament. It's great to be for many teams today. It's all about the big dance. So we're really excited to be commentating today and watching these great little athletes working their backsides off to get themselves medals, to give some glory to their schools.
Yeah, and this match is about to come up ahead. Is going to be a big one too. The North Harbour teams battling it out again. They've seen each other a few times this season. Our first team on the score, the first team you can see there is Orewa College. Now they've got a strong lineup there. A few last names you may have recognised. Ursum, related to Renee Ursum, and also a few other really strong players.
Yeah, and I think from this group here in particular, you've got a great coaching team. Craig Ashton and the national women's coach, Richard Suri-Kasut, have been doing a great job with this particular crew. They've taken them actually a long way through this tournament. Probably a little bit unexpected that they made it through to the semi-finals on previous form, but hey, tournaments are tournaments, aren't they? This is where the business gets done.
Exactly, and they did come up against the big powerhouses, Burnside School, yesterday afternoon in a big battle. I believe it was a 3-set match, but I know it was very close in every set. Obviously, Burnside, one of the stronger teams around here, with a couple of the beach girls, Rosa Vesti and Taylor, coming through as very strong Year 12 players. But they tried their best, Orewa, and unfortunately couldn't get the win, and they're here today now battling out for the bronze medal.
That's it, and it's a bit of an unforgiving day, playing for 3rd and 4th. Somebody goes home with very little else other than a 4th place, and someone who had a medal. So a lot of the times, Trent, these games become quite epic in themselves because nobody wants to go home with the pie.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had my times in the bronze medal matches, and I swear they're bigger and better than some of the finals.
Yeah, hallelujah to that.
Yeah, and our Rangitoto lineup is also looking very strong, with their coaches coming in, Nina Kerr and Alan Kerr, obviously been around with the North Harbour sort of area, coaching East Coast Thunder and many of the other strong club teams up there. You'll see a few great players here in this lineup. Now, these two teams have met before in a big bong battle at the North Harbour Champs and in the Auckland Champs, and I'm sure they're going to be a bit of revenge out on that court today.
Absolutely. And a great thing I think about the Rangitoto, and particularly, we have to give a lot of credit to guys like Alan Kerr, who's an absolute stalwart of North Harbour volleyball, been around for many years, helped bring the sport to North Harbour in a way that probably very few others have done. And so a lot of respect to that young man for the work that he's done, and clearly the program continues to grow and develop with these young ladies here in the 3rd, 4th playoff, and the Rangitoto men this afternoon are going to be in the final. So that's the kind of thing we like to see, these big programs coming through in a sport. That means something for these guys.
Absolutely. And obviously we'll know that both these teams The coaches know each other very well, so I'm sure it's a bit of rivalry here during the match, but there'll be definitely some handshakes and maybe a few beverages afterwards to tell you how good of a week it's been for both teams.
Absolutely. And just a little bit of a heads up to all of the parents out there. If you're watching your daughters this morning, be proud. Big day, big week. They've done their school, they've done everybody around them proud for the efforts that they've put in. It's there's a lot of investment and a lot of time that we all look at as volunteers in the sport. From the parents putting the money on the table to get these kids away, to the coaches who do the work on the sidelines. It's a massive effort to put big teams together and coordinate an event like this. So congratulations to all of the parents and the coaches for these two teams. It's a great effort and great honour to get here today.
Yeah, and we'll be joining very shortly. This game was due to kick off in a few moments. There's a final hitting warm-up for Orewa is going on. And we'll be away in about 3 or 4 minutes. So do grab your cup of tea, your coffee this morning if you are hanging out at home or maybe you're at work. Chuck it up on the big screen because this is going to be a big battle.
I suppose now, Trent's a bit of a time to also just say a big thank you to our hosts here in Palmerston North. The weather has just been turned on up here, which is of course always normal for this part of the world. But again, Palmerston North, they've done us proud as a sport. This massive arena, having so many courts. We've got 1,700 kids having a great experience here this week, and this is what you call a pretty exciting culmination of 5 days of hard effort.
Yeah, that's right. There's 176 teams across the boys and girls, 112 different schools here represented at Palmerston North at the secondary school champs, and that actually makes it for one of the biggest national events for secondary schools here in New Zealand, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, obviously these days our statistics are starting to look pretty good in terms of, rising to that number 4 spot in all school sports. Volleyball continues its trajectory of growth and popularity as it moves, through these years. It's been always one of those sports that kind of keeps on growing, but just recently, man, things have really taken off, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sport that I know that I fell in love with a long time ago, kicking off in my Year 9 year. And once you get to one of these nationals, you just get the bug.
Yeah.
You just get the hook. You just find this is such an awesome atmosphere. And you're playing against teams, the top of the North Island playing on against teams from the bottom of the South Island. These people will probably, never clash again, but it's a chance where you get to see great volleyball across all of New Zealand, which is really awesome.
Yeah, no, you're quite right there. I'm the same. It's just one of those sports also, the diversity of people out of here. Yeah, we played a couple of teams this week, Trent, that looked more like they came straight out of the Warriors training squad than they did from the volleyball court, but all great young men, particularly in our divisions for the guys where I'm coaching. Just awesome people, awesome coaches, bringing up good young citizens. It's such a great atmosphere, even for coaches to be here and be motivated to bring other kids through and have this experience.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and it is a big part of these students' high school years. I think I look back and I can remember even some of my game scores still from back when I was at high school, because this is such the epitome of volleyball here in New Zealand. Of course, there's club level after this, which many of these players already play in club level. Mm-hmm. And will continue to play in club level, but when it comes to getting the bug, getting that feel for volleyball, this secondary school champs is here in Palmy is definitely the epitome. It's the peak.
Absolutely. All right, and here we go. We're about to kick off into this third and fourth playoff. Both teams are now onto the court and getting ready to go. We'll be looking forward to seeing hopefully some good volleyball. Usually, obviously, truth is, of course, everybody's a little bit cool in the legs to start with. Day 5, everything's a little bit sorer than they was on day 1. But I'm sure, like I said, the lure of a medal makes these games kind of interesting in the end, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. So we're just checking the rotations now for those at home. Volleyball, if you're not too familiar with indoor volleyball, there's 6 rotations, and if you've ever played social volleyball, you would have rotated around. Now, in this sort of professional level of volleyball, you set up in certain positions, and there's different types of positions, isn't there, Warren, that you can play out there?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the great thing about obviously volleyball, everybody has to rotate on the court, but inevitably there are specialists. We'll have players who are called setters, making sure they're distributing the ball to the hitters themselves. We'll have some tall, lean ones in the middle, usually just trying to control the net itself. And then you have some specialist hitters who also play what's known as the diagonal position. So there's plenty of work to be done today. Here we go, starting off with a first swing and a miss there from the Orewa crowd. And Rangitoto have got a point on the board.
I always like to say you throw the first fish back, it's good luck when you're out fishing. So if you've got the serve and you miss it, you go, it's all right, it's good luck. We'll get some more serves.
That's it. There's not a whole lot of punishment to start the game just yet. Here we go. Great reflex dive there, and a swing for the point, and there we have it. Rangitoto pick up their second point.
So just a passing area there in the back court. It's coming off the top of the blocks and off the backhands of the opposite in the back court.
Again, another passing area, but a nice little shot there, trying to create a little bit of disruption. Unfortunately, the young Rangitoto lady got herself too far under the net. I think one of the things for the folks who are watching this today, just also keep in mind, obviously, when it comes to the women's game, it's not quite as powerful as the men. So what you tend to find is that the women's players are actually far more dynamic around the game, and also far more intelligent about how they play the game. Great example there of that middle player just dropping the ball across over top of the blocks and finding a hole in the gaps. They have to work a little bit harder to get the ball on the floor in many ways, which makes it probably one of the reasons why the women's game is so popular overseas, particularly in the countries like in Brazil. Big Asian sport, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we'll probably be expecting to see with those more dynamic players is longer rallies as well compared to the males. Yes. It's a lot harder to put the ball down. Of course, the court space is still the same as the men. It's a 9x9 on each side. Hope I got that correct still, Warren. Yep. Obviously coming off the sand. I'm just trying to remember which way the dimensions work. So there's a lot of room for error, but a lot of room also to keep the rallies going.
Correct, a lot of opportunity. And as we see, everybody's just trying to feel their way into this now. That's a second good serve by the Orewa team onto Rangitoto, who can't quite control the ball. Here we are, another serve. Yeah, good strong pressure on there. That's a nice pass by the Rangitoto players, and again trying to find those small gaps. And Rangitoto put up a good strong pressured block, and Orewa player unable to sort of convert that point. As I said, as we go along, this will start to ramp up a little bit as everybody kind of gets warmed up into the game. It's actually, Trent, to be honest, this is a bit of an interesting stadium to play in. It's a very, the white roof, quite bright LED lights. It's kind of disorientating to start with. And you just got to take a little bit of time to get your head around it, especially if you haven't been playing in the stadium all of the week, so to speak. One of the things you do have to spend some time on is getting your head around how the stadium feels itself when you're playing. Yeah,
absolutely. You'd hope these teams would be familiar with it a little bit by this stage of the game. But yeah, definitely can still play a big part of the actual sport.
It's a great wee drop serve there by the Orewa server.
Yeah, there's Mani Ursum, and she just came off of a great middle hit there. So good back-to-back points for her. So at the moment, we're just seeing quite an even game here at the start, just a 1 point lead now for Orewa, but like these first parts of the sets are really warm-ups, aren't they? Still, teams are still trying to find their rhythm and find the holes in the opposition, and so we'll take probably about midway through the set that we'll start to see things ramp up a little bit more.
Yeah, and how you notice that is from a spectator's point of view is you'll start seeing the coaches probably getting up and adjusting the chess pieces on the chessboard, just making little adjustments, getting the players to go about their business, and then helping them just set up strategically against certain players who look like they might be a little bit on form versus those who aren't. And we saw a bit of a swing hit on the outside there that was blocked. Did notice that the Rangitoto players are starting to move a little bit further outside, so the line isn't quite as free as it is normally. Yeah. So clearly that sort of strategy work it will start to unfold.
Nice D set there.
There we go. Oh, there we go. A little bit of confusion by the Rangi girls, not quite looking upwards to the block.
Yeah, great swing there by Amy Baker's been short. Unfortunately, it was a blocking error there by Rangitoto. So Amy Baker's now to serve. Good pass there. Pass out to the outside. We've got.
Yeah, it's good here. So the rally's just everybody's just feeling themselves out a little bit. Where are we going to put the ball?
We've got our first long rally.
Yep, here we go. They're first of the nice tip balls. Good idea, but unfortunately on the libero. And there we are. So the first time there, Rangitoto decided to put a little bit more sort of proactive attack into place. It didn't quite pay off, but that's the sort of thing as with time we'd expect to see more and more, because at the end of the day, there's it's no risk, no reward.
Absolutely. And that move there, for those folks at home, that is called a backcourt attack. It's where one of the backcourt players must attack from behind that line, which is 3 meters away from the net, and it just creates a bit more of a opportunity so that they're not you haven't got 5 hitters, I guess, up on the net. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice swing on the outside.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing we'll start to see again more and more. Beautiful. As you see as well, Trent, the girls are starting to be a little bit more animated as well. It's a little bit more noise as they start to feel their way through. A little bit of that nervous, that nervous energy at the start. Everybody's a little bit unsure. Now they're starting to enjoy the points, starting to celebrate the good things that are happening on the court.
Free ball here.
It's a great set to the outside again.
Kaya,
taking the risk for the swing.
Yeah, and that's Kaya Buckley. And she's an upcoming great setter, actually. She's, I believe she might be year 12. She's pushing that set out pretty good to the pin, and that's really key at this sort of level. When we say pushing out to the pin, we've got 2 antennas, and you want to get it as far wide so you've got more room to hit across court or that line.
Yeah, well, that's a nice swing. And there we have a great back corner shot again, taking a little bit of a risk to hit that 3 meter, what's called a pipe ball. And she's hit that corner beautifully.
We've got a substitution here, so we've got number 8, Christy Lemming, coming on for number 6, Jenny McMillan. Jenny McMillan was on for just the backcourt in that situation. Great pass by Emily.
Yeah. And that's a call, what's known as a double hit. So that means that the contact by the setter wasn't quite clean. And the young man up on the stand, Mr. Stu Henderson, one of the absolute legends of the Bay of Plenty Tauranga dynasty of Otamaitai. Been around the game for probably, longer than Donald Trump was president, I'd say. Made the right call there. We would like to see good technical skill. Great back set there by the young Rangitoto setter. Again, the clarity of these sets is really quite good at this stage of the game. And unfortunately, that's 4 contacts from the Orewa crowd. But those 2 setters actually look like, if that's going to continue at the level that they're setting at, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's talk a little bit about this ball. We've got a new Mikasa with the new, I'm not too sure the exact name of the ball, but it's a new one that's come out with the Summer Olympics.
Yes.
And I myself personally haven't had a chance to really play with it. What do you think? How do you find the ball?
This is it's actually a very difficult ball to play with when you have come away from the old balls that we had. The old ones used to have a kind of a dimple system on them, little honeycomb dimple system, so it made it very easy to set the ball cleanly. This one here, however, is a lot more sort of varied, because you actually, with sweaty hands, there is a lot more harder to control.
Wow.
Also, especially for the men, particularly with jump serving, you have to rotate the ball a whole lot faster before you hit the serve, because they tend to just carry on floating out the back. Yeah. So you've got to create a whole lot more dynamism in the ball to get it moving downwards.
I have actually noticed that throughout the week with a few jump servers, and a lot of the top players actually decide to choose the float serve, because it does move around quite a lot in the air.
Yep.
And you can see most of these girls are doing a float serve, and they're using it really well. However, both teams are very strong at passing. They seem to be picking it up pretty well.
Yeah, another unfortunate error in the backcourt there for the Orewa crowd. And I think, Trent, the other thing to just to think about in terms of the ball, the thing about these type of serves, if as a person in the spectators today, if you have a look at just how many serves go through the middle of the court to the opposition, now, it's a bit of a problem, because when a team starts serving basically through the middle, it also means they're a little bit nervous about what's going on, and they're just basically playing with a bit of a low-risk game. Now, that last serve there by the young lady from Rangitoto went to the outside, and all of a sudden the ball's off to the side. So you have to take a little bit of risk as well in your serving strategy and serve a lot. There we are again. So serving across court, heading from the from our side here, from the right to the left, in order to make that ball move away. This is a really important thing for the game, and again, it sort of I think it highlights a team that's willing to take more risk, is to get the balls a lot more to the sides than through the middle of the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always a big fan of the old drop short sort of serve, one corner straight ahead or one corner straight across. You just pop it in that little short corner.
Absolutely, yes. Yep. The more risk you can create in that situation with control, the better off you are. And what we've seen there is, again, that server has gone back. She's got a great float serve that's working the ball really hard, very difficult to pass. And of course, what they're doing is creating uncertainty. Uncertainty creates nervousness, and nervousness creates mistakes. And so it's great serving by this young lady from Rangitoto.
It's a good bit of philosophy there, actually was. I like
mate.
that. I might write that one down.
Yeah.
My next team talk.
That's right. Put it on a stone. Here we are. Great block by Rangitoto. Again, you see the serving pressure is now creating a situation where the setter is a little bit less sure. She's trying to be more precise with that, but that precision comes at a cost of time. And so the ball's taking a little bit longer to get out to the hitter, and therefore the blockers are having a better chance to set up. And that was a great block by the Rangitoto team. But here we have a relatively simple ball, not controlled. And Orewa are back into it again. 11-15 down. It's certainly by no means out of reach for Orewa to bring themselves back into the game. Had a little bit of a lull there in terms of concentration, but back into business. Here we are. Nice, solid block.
Yeah, number 14, Mani. So she probably learned that from her older family member. She really reaching, penetrating over the net to grab that ball, which is really good ball control there, tracking where it was coming from.
There we go, another nice serve. Not particularly strong serve, but put them again under a little bit of pressure. The setter for Rangitoto has decided to spread the ball around a little bit, but that hasn't paid off. So you'll probably find Rangitoto now go back to their main hitting lineup just to get ball dead. But it's funny how, Trent, usually around the middle of a set, what we start seeing is that first dip in concentration. The adrenaline wears off, we're back into the grind, and everybody's just trying to roll their way through it. One team will generally have a little bit of a phase, and we saw that there with Rangitoto just pulling ahead by those points. They lost theirs, and Orewa sort of dragged it back a little bit. And this will kind of go back and forth until we get to the real business end of this set, which once we're in the 20s, and if it's still tight, then things are going to start getting interesting.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we want to see. It's not about how you start the race, it's about how you finish.
Yeah, you finish it.
And we've seen many times throughout this whole week where teams get a good lead, they take the foot off the gas, and they just allow that lead to disappear.
Yep. And it is brutal at this level too, because there is so many good teams that are able to, capitalise on those losses. And that was another great swing for Rangitoto. They've clearly come here with a little bit more intent, I think, in the way that they're playing the game. I'm seeing from them that's a little bit more risk, and there is a little bit more reward coming from that, isn't there?
Yeah, and the aggression that's coming from Rangitoto is causing a bit of a problem for the backcourt of Oreo. We've seen a few defensive errors there, just coming off the arms of the players and continuing backwards behind into the bleachers. They'll be wanting to move into a bit of position there, so they'll probably be hopefully getting a bit of a read for how the hitters are hitting from Rangitoto, and we'll move around a bit more to get behind the ball.
Yeah, totally right. I'm looking forward to the first coaches talk. We haven't had any timeouts yet, and usually the first coach to take that will be the team that's got a few points behind, and they'll be talking to them about, hey, let's pick this up now, let's get a little bit more intense, bring that little bit of 5% more in the adrenaline, and to keep things moving along. But you know what, Orewa, just here we are. You see there's another point down.
Yeah.
They're just they're staying in there, and Rangitoto are finding now that maybe those longer rallies aren't quite what they want to be involved in, trying to get those things done a little bit quicker. An unfortunate error there by the server from Orewa, probably just let those Rangitoto girls a little bit off the hook. But Rangitoto back to serve, and we'll see how much pressure our server can create now. 18-15 to Rangitoto. First set.
Float
There we have
serve.
it. Great serve.
Nice. It's a passing area there by number 6, Nellie Burke. Kiana serving at the moment from Rangitoto. She is a pretty good float server. I've been watching a few of their games throughout the week. She's known to get quite a few aces actually. Nice. So bit of a weapon with the float serve on these new balls.
Yeah, they do move too, and it's quite surprising if you can get the valve in the right place, you can get it moving left and right, which I haven't seen in a volleyball for probably 30 years. There's an old Japanese ball called a tachikara, which you used to be able to, you put the valve on one side down, at 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and you could make that thing just literally move half a court. And this is the first one for a long time that's been able to do that again.
Some might have thought you were a wizard back then, backing those ones around.
Yeah. I was just out of nappies.
We also a big problem with the float serve, especially at women's level. They aren't as confident as taking the first ball on the hands, and when you're taking a float serve, it's moving that last minute.
Yep.
Sometimes you need to be able to be confident to take it on the hands, and taking it on the platform on your arms just moves that 1 second too late, and it's off on the side.
Yeah, quite right. It is a difficult skill, and I've been kind of interested over the last probably decade how much float serving's come back again. We went through a phase of everybody just basically trying to rip the ball as much as they possibly could on a jump serve, but I think that there is definite advantage in taking the energy out of the ball, and when you've got big jump servers, even for the women's game, it's a lot easier to control a jump serve if you're confident at that skill. But then having a good change up is pretty important. That's why the float serve, I think, is sort of coming back into vogue a little bit.
Great D set there.
Oh, nice. There we
and
are.
Well played. Is it still in play?
There we are, just out. So that's Rangitoto. They're just they're still ahead. Orewa, I love the fact that they're still fighting away on their points. They seem to be better at those longer rallies. Just sort of cleaning up a lot more. And Rangitoto clearly want to get the things, get their side outs done as quickly as they can. Ooh, that's an unfortunate combination error. So basically, just for the crowd out there, when a team is on the court, they have a certain rotation. Players have to be in certain positions, and of course there's a couple of intricacies to how that's set up in terms of who's in the front court and who's in the back court. And the second referee down here has just indicated to them that she felt that they were in out of rotation, but that's just been clarified by the coach and the team, and in fact they've called a tie ball, which means that the second referee didn't quite get that right. Can happen. And they just start the rally again.
Bump set out to wide, but a hitting error there by number 10, Shauna Lee. And we were just finding a little bit of momentum late here in this first set. So it's starting to close that gap.
Yeah,
served there by Amy Bickers.
That's right. We're just starting to get to the business end of the set now. And again, Mr. Henderson. Stu, it's just called a contact, basically a lift on that pass. Inevitably, the ball can't stay in the hands of the passer. You can get pretty untidy in terms of the contact, but you can't. The ball can't literally stop in the hands and move and not be moving.
Just going to have a bit of a conversation there with the captain from Rangitoto, Kai Buckley. Stu just a little bit concerned about that late change of the libero after the whistle was blown. He's just replayed the play, but probably given a warning to Rangitoto.
So, yep. Here we are. That's a nice serve by the Orewa players. See that the team Rangitoto now under a bit of pressure to get back into system.
Free ball there going through the pipe.
And unfortunately an error. And you just got to get that feeling, don't you, Trent, that Orewa are on the right track here, but they just their risk versus reward sort of play is not quite working for them.
No, when you get a free ball like that, you want to make sure you're passing that to 2.5, which is up on the net, right where the setter should be standing. And I thought that pass was just a little bit quite off. It was on the 3 metre line. Yeah,
absolutely. In fact, we had a game with my team yesterday. That was the one aspect that we needed to tidy up, and the difference between actually dominating a game versus being really under pressure is how close that ball gets to the net. The closer it is, and the closer that setter is working the net, the better the angles for your own hitting, your own offensive team.
Good rally going on
there
here.
We go. Nice.
It was a great block there by Orewa, but unfortunately coming off the hands of number 5, Yanke Torres.
But that's better play from Orewa. By putting up a triple block, what we're starting to see is that a little bit more of an aggressive approach. Just saying, hey, you've got to get over, you've got to get past and get over us. We'll take the risk on that. And I like that because that's just showing that they're feeling pretty proactive right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Orewa's actually been doing pretty well on the blocking. Oh, maybe that commentator's curse just there.
Commentator's curse right
Whoops.
there. Mr. Webby.
So that brings up actually our first set point here for Rangitoto. They've got 4 set points to win this game. It's a race to 25. And it's a best of 5 sets. So regardless of what happens here, there will definitely be 2 more sets. Tight pass.
There we go. See another passing error, and therein lies the first set victory for Rangitoto.
Yeah, some of the things we're starting to see from that first set, I think from the Orewa team, they're just a little bit hesitant on the defense and on the serve receive. They're standing there and they're in a good position, but just getting the arms out of
kilter.
Of kilter, and it's just coming off the arms quite a few times there. They'll be wanting to just kind of just chill out, I think. I think they just need to drop the nerves. Sure, they've come all this way to get here to the 3rd playoff, and they want to make sure that they're just playing in their best condition, not mentally blocking their skills. Yeah,
quite right. And oftentimes, of course, when you're playing at this level, and for the for the spectators out there, sometimes it looks like it's pretty static, but a lot of the time when that's happening, you've got to think all of these girls are now playing chess on the court in their own positions, thinking about what they need to be doing against their opponents in their positions, and sometimes that just can be a little bit overwhelming. And so I think for the Orewa girls, they are certainly, without doubt, they're meant to be here. They're playing well enough in themselves, but what they need now is to move away from that whole concept of playing chess a little bit and just focus on the processes. Get a good dig, get a good set, get a good hit, get some good side outs, and work their game on those simple things first. And then once you've got some sort of dominance and some clarity around that, then you can start really working your opponent. Yeah,
and Rangitoto definitely look like they're in the driver's seat at the moment. They're, like you said before, that risk-reward kind of play. They're coming out aggressive. They're swinging on things that Orewa probably would have been a bit hesitant on. And it's in Rangitoto's favour at the moment. Win that first set 25-20, a good 5-point lead, which they managed to keep throughout the whole game.
No, it's a good display, and we'll see now. The idea of playing at this level again, we come back to that whole. We're in the 3rd and 4th playoff. These girls have taken a long, hard road to get here, and clearly quality teams don't arrive at these games. Teams without quality don't arrive at these games. So we'll see now. Hopefully, Orewa they'll come back. They'll show their heart and get into this game in the best possible way they can. Again, like I said, the first set. There's a bit of a feel out. What's happening? How do we go? Orewa's job now is to reply in kind, and see if they can really put some pressure on Rangitoto.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the underdogs. They're coming into this competition. They've played Rangitoto many times and have, and Rangitoto has obviously come out on top of many of those games. They should be coming in firing. This is their opportunity. To finally get that last chance where it matters the most, the bronze medal match.
See, now we've already started with a rally with super great intent. Both teams now having a good swing at the ball, trying to win their points. Orewa was standing up and defending on these balls really well, swinging on a point, not quite achieving it. Good rally so far, tipping away there from the middle player for Rangitoto, but Orewa was still in control, and Orewa was winning the point. That was a fantastic. In fact, that's the best rally of the game.
Absolutely,
Orewa have decided that's how they need to play. They've done well to get out of that situation. They were in a little bit of trouble, but kept the pressure on Rangitoto. Beautiful. That's good volleyball. Yeah,
it was really good defense by Orewa. Rangitoto was coming out with a lot of different shots. They ran a C slide there. The middle threw a little tip down into the space of 5. But Orewa on all of them. Libero was working very hard there as well.
Brilliant, yeah. And again, see, Orewa's picked up. We're back in the play again. Orewa's still in charge of the point. Great defense there from our Rangitoto girl. Great slide option there from the setter to the middle player. Instead of running through the middle, running a D, and a great swing to finish that point. Here we go. Orewa back in the game. And that's what we want to see, isn't it? We want to see good teams replying in kind. They're fighting, fighting qualities, their character as people. to just come out and keep going. And I know that those two quality coaches that are sitting on Orewa's bench, but that'll be their message. Make sure that your character's high, go out and play smart, play hard, and finish this game, win or lose, with your head held high, knowing that you've worked hard for your money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just going to replay that point. So one of the teams warming up on the sideline there. Ball just running on the court. It's definitely a safety issue here. Players are all looking up to see the volleyballs.
Yep.
They don't expect one to roll on, so it's always a safety thing just to replay those sort of points.
Quite right. And again, you see, even in that point that was the replay, those Orewa girls had picked that up, and they were back on it, back on the offense again. So this is a really good start from Orewa. Great reply to that first set. Oh, that's a nice swing down the line. It's a beautiful hit. Orewa didn't really have much option there, but just to play that out as best they could. And they'll probably make some adjustments and not let that outside hitter have as much line free on the next one. But that was actually that was a good quality hit, that. And here we are, Rangitoto's first option to get another point on the board from their own serve. There we have it. Beautiful, nice tip ball there by the Orewa player. Blockers just a little bit early and couldn't quite stay in the air long enough. Here we are, just dropped off the hands. All the power was out of the ball. Now Orewa back on attack, 3-1 up. Bit of a conservative serve through the middle, and unfortunately that gives Rangitoto a good opportunity to organise their attack, and there they've made that a little bit easy. And again, so as the spectators out there, just keep an eye on how many times that ball goes served through the middle of the court, and how well that ball normally from that position gets back to the setter. And of course that's that whole concept of risk versus reward. Yeah,
absolutely. We had the Orewa team actually trying to complain mid-rally about a forward touch. That's a funny thing, sometimes the players think they see it one way, but the referee's got the best eye, and sometimes you don't want to argue with them too much, because sometimes you can end up making it 7 against 6, which is a little bit tough.
Yeah, and the good thing about Stu is he's a good operator up there on the stand. He's been in this game for a very long time, and I'm sure he's had a lot of young people complaining to him in the past, so he just brushes it off and moves on. Oh, that's another great serve by Rangitoto. Good pressure again, as we see. Orewa unable to set up their attack well. There's another great swing. Here we go. Can we save that? Yes. Oh, hard luck. That's some good fight there by Orewa. But again, if we're not putting pressure on our opponents, it's a little bit too easy for them to set up their attack and get things moving. And at this level, it is brutal. You either put pressure on, or the attack comes back in spades.
Absolutely. So Honoka coming back to serve here again. Great float serve there. And nice. A great dig.
There we go. Oh, yeah, see, that's good play by the Rangitoto, trying a few different variations, seeing what they can do. But unfortunately, confusion. She had the call, what the setter thought she knew what she was doing, but hadn't communicated that to the middle player, and together they just kind of made a hash of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused there. I thought that was a setting error, but no, it was just a bit of communication error there.
Bit of communication error, yeah. They're just talking to each other and just clarifying that for the next one.
Another great pass there by Rangitoto.
Yep, there we go. Pressure's on now, so Orewa back in attack.
And
unfortunately, the backcourt players put a foot on the line, just for everybody's sense there. There's what's known as the 3-metre line. It's not quite the half-court line, but the backcourt hitter is very welcome to have a crack at the ball, but unfortunately they're just not allowed to put their foot on the line, any of their foot either. So unfortunately, not only did she touch the line, but she also hit the ball a little bit long. But good, again, Orewa picks up the defence. Hasn't converted the option for the attack, but they are picking up the Rangitoto attack.
Yeah, Ella Rose here for the serve.
Another ball through the middle, a little bit. Oh, there we are, unfortunately. That is what you call a setting error on that one. Pretty good pass for the setter, but unfortunately she sort of underran it, which tended to let the ball fly out just a little bit too far out past the antenna for the hitter.
And when you're playing volleyball, the ball must go between those two antennas. You have to picture that everything outside those antennas is not in play. They don't even exist. And those antennas shoot all the way up into the sky, so the ball can't actually go over the antennas as well.
Yeah, correct. Oh, that's a great save by the Orewa girls. Again, it's untidy, but they're still in the point. And there we have a nice dig. Yeah,
Overpass.
There we go. Look at that. That's just staying in the point. I love that sort of stuff. The Rangitoto girls had full advantage. But Orewa just stood their ground, said, hey, we've still got a chance of picking this up, and then, of course, they created the confusion on the other side by still staying in the match. Love it.
Yeah, the backcourt player there from Orewa, number 10, Emily Mueller, was doing very well to stay deep for that long shot as well. We find actually not so much with these higher level games, but you sometimes find a tendency where that number 6 player, that backcourt middle person, comes right up and leaves a big space in the final metre or two. Yeah, and that's where most of the spikes actually end up, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Unless you've got some big powerhouse that's heading over top of you, they usually come off the blocks or land in that deep corner.
Absolutely. And so Orewa's back on the hunt again for another point. We've gone from 3-6 down to 6-all, and another defence by Orewa. Again, the pressure stays on. And although we're looking at Rangitoto probably still a little bit ahead in terms of their gameplay, Orewa's definitely not out of this. They just keep picking up ball. So good job by them to stay in their system and create those defensive opportunities.
And last time that these two teams met actually was the final of North Harbour. I actually believe I got it wrong. I think Orewa actually ended up coming out on top on that one, which mattered, and they came through as top seeds for this tournament.
There you go. There you go. And again, and even on that, you see, that's why these teams know each other so well. But that, just wanted to mention that play down the line. Great shot, great intelligent shot down the line. Couldn't quite get the hit away in terms of a powerful hit. So she went for the long shot, and just like you were talking before, Trent, about that area in the backcourt that's usually pretty free, it was free.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice swing there. Good answer by the Rangitoto hitter. Yeah, now, of course, we go back to the start of the match when everything seemed a little bit slower or not quite as precise. Now we're starting to, both teams are rolling now. And so it's going to be a little bit of a who's going to dominate from here on in. I know this in the first set, the server was doing pretty well with her float serves, putting pressure on. There's another great serve there, but well passed by the Orewa player, and a beautiful line spike to finish that point.
I believe that just hit the baseline of the court. Anything on the line is in. Shadow on the line as well. Sometimes is a tricky one. So we've still got an even match here early in the second set, 8-all. Orewa putting in a bit more fire than, after coming off a bit of momentum after the first set.
Oh, that's a nice swing down the line. The Rangitoto hitter saw that the blocks weren't quite set and just decided to hit off the block instead of try and kill the point in the court. There's many ways to get a point. I certainly know in my own career, I certainly wasn't going over top of many people, Trent, so the old arm high, hit low, get off the side of that block, that was a bit of a
nice little
bit of a way forward.
We usually call that one a tool in volleyball. You use the blocker as a tool to win the point.
Absolutely. So. Another good strong serve by Rangitoto, but well passed by the Orewa libero.
Great dig there by Counter. Can it be saved?
There we go. Nice touch on the ball by the Rangitoto player, but again, a nice standard attack, wasn't it, from Orewa? They're on the roll now, as in, I don't say that they're dominant, but they're certainly not out of the game. I think there's a...
So we've got number 5 back to serve, Natalie Burke. She's been dishing up a few good float serves. Jump float there again.
Oh, and done it again. That's a great serve. Good pressure. Difficult position for the passer to make sure that ball gets up. Now we have Orewa a little bit disjointed in how they set up their attack, and there we have it. Rangitoto actually made good progress there, but unfortunately touched the net on the way through. I'd say that's probably a lost opportunity. Orewa pick up the point. Back in the lead again.
Yeah, you got to play limbo with that net in volleyball, both beach and indoor. You can't touch the net at all, and you find some players pretty good at limbo out here. They hit the ball and somehow just dodge it. And you go, sometimes you think, gosh, surely they had to touch that net, but in that situation they did with Rangitoto.
So again, Orewa back on the attack. They still find ways to keep the ball alive. Unfortunately, though, as we can see, they're just there. We're great block from the Orewa player. Well, good vision on that one.
Yeah, good reach out by number 4 there. She could track where that ball was coming and just managed to place it back inside the court.
I'm kind of looking forward, Trent, for these Orewa girls to start swinging on a few balls. They're playing it that a little bit safe still on their own attack, and they should be just There we go. That's a great slide ball from Rangitoto.
Yeah, they're finding the rhythm there now, aren't they,
Yes.
with Rangitoto with that C slide? Yeah.
Yep.
They played it 3 out of the last 6 points, actually,
Yep.
and executed well on all 3. Had a net touch on 1, which is unfortunate, but we might see a bit more of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll see that a lot more. That's a bit of a winning strategy for them right now. But again, oh, there we go. Unfortunate error from Orewa. And here we go. That's tied it up now at 11-all.
What's your thoughts on men playing C-slides? You never really see that sort of move where the middle hitter runs across the net and hits the ball on the outside, the D antenna.
The D antenna. I think actually, particularly in schools volleyball, it's a very, very effective strategy. And it's unfortunate that a lot of teams don't utilise it more. I think in the international men's game, the difference is that they the blockers are extremely explosive, and they don't have to move a whole hell of a lot to cover a lot more net space. So it isn't quite as effective.
Right.
But certainly at this level, and particularly the fact here in New Zealand, I wouldn't say just New Zealand, but in general in schoolboy volleyball, blocks are pretty unstable, and you've got actually a lot of opportunity there to kill ball.
Right.
So again, Rangitoto just taking a little bit more heat into the ball now. Back to that more proactive way of playing. They've decided that that's the way forward. Orewa not quite able to respond on these points.
Yeah, number 9 going back to serve, Kaya Buckley. Setter as well. And another hitting error there. So just a lack of rhythm, isn't it? It's just unfortunate for the Orewa girls, because that's a good, positive, proactive approach to attack, just to try and break that up a little bit. And sometimes it just pays to get those attacks in to start with. Oh, that's a great serve. Even I thought that was going out, but that ball just died in front of the line. So here we are again. Rangitoto pulling out to a 4-point lead. Orewa in the match right the way through, but again, same as the first set. They're just having a little bit of a phase where the concentration's down a little bit, and they haven't responded well. And it is day 5 already. Was looking just a little bit flat out there. Body language is kind of looking like, we've had so many games, probably a few 5-setters, some late nights. These games sometimes finish at 11 p.m. And then sometimes you're back here again at 8 a.m. ready to go again. It's a very exhausting week for a lot of these players. So just looking there at the moment, Ori was just looking a little bit more tentative than the Rangitoto team.
Yeah. And I had a great example of that in the Division 3 for the young fellas, the Shirley Boys High coach. I was talking to her, Kim Smith, who's one of our national team players for the Volley Ferns. She was saying that on one of their days, they left the gym at midnight, and they got home, had a feed, and she just basically said to the boys, hey, lights out at 1 a.m, you've got 8 a.m. duty. And so these are pretty brutal times in some cases. I know that the organisers here, outstanding group of people, try very hard to avoid all of those kind of hard conflicts for teams, but unfortunately the reality is sometimes that's just the way it is. This is turning into a great rally. Great work by Orewa to keep into that one there.
Great D set there.
Yep. And that ball's out. There we go. Great rally by Orewa. Again, like first set, we see these guys when they just stay in the rallies from a 15-11 deficit now, 14-15. Orewa have had their little mini break, had their little mini rest, and they're back into it again.
Tight set there.
Oh, yeah, that's
reach.
That's a reach, but yes, it's get called by a carry by the setter.
It's a tough one to watch. You can see Stu there, eyes like a hawk right across the top of the net to see what was happening there. Now the ball can be played as long as it's on top of the net. If it's over one side of the net, the other player cannot reach across to grab that ball.
Correct. And in fact, Stu was saying on that ball there that it was the middle player getting the ball over, that their arms were moving too far through the motion of the ball, and so it became a throw instead of a block.
Wow.
And so, great response from Rangitoto there. So we've got 16-15, but the game's back up and tied. So again, what are we going to see here leading into the end of this set? Is Rangitoto going to stay proactive? Can Orewa move into a bit more of a rhythm around their serve receive and their hitting? And there's your answer. That's a great hit. Great defense by Rangitoto. Keep that alive. Here we go again. Another swing, but again, Rangitoto pull out the big block.
Yeah, that number 8, Christy Lemming, is actually doing very well at the front court. She's been running some great C slides today and getting some good blocks. The hands over the top of the net, making no room for error there.
And that's good court awareness, isn't it? These young people have to learn this game pretty quickly in terms of understanding what and how. And there's an unforced serving error. But coming back to that point, you know, these girls have to be thinking on their feet as they go. It all happens very quickly. Situations are set up as they are, and good structure will sometimes beat good power. And that's where that great block from the Rangitoto girls certainly showed their structure. Here we go through the middle, again wanting that front middle attack to work. There's a great swing through the backcourt. That's a good proactive hit. And again, a great block by Orewa, still in there. They're staying in there. Rangitoto are still trying to make points. It's not quite working. Great touch by Orewa. Still the defense works. Nice roll shot and into the backcourt.
There's that space. I love finding that space in that backcourt. The Rangitoto defense just coming up a little bit too tight, and that's mainly because there were quite a few blocks going on there, both sides of things, both sides of the court. So the game was being played in that short 3-meter part of the court. So great work though by Rangitoto, I thought, in that situation. They got 3 blocks in a row.
Yeah, 3 blocks in a row, and they just keep on working. Their system is working well, but again, it seems to me that Orewa are the better team when those rallies start to get a little bit longer. Obviously, the Rangitoto attack, their first option for attack seems to be working pretty well, and if they get that through, the rally's over pretty quick. Yep, that's a great set. Great option by the setter to break that up a little bit. Moving to your, as a blocking team, moving to your left is inherently more difficult because you've got a shorter space, so you can't quite get a rhythm on your block as the way you move. So it's a lot sharper and shorter, a lot more explosive. And the Orewa girls got caught out really well by the setter there from Rangitoto.
So we've just seen a double substitution there. Number 11 coming on, Ella Rose, backcourt specialist, coming on for their middle. She comes up to serve first. Good spot.
Nice, that's a good save, but again, Orewa's under pressure, aren't they? They didn't quite get themselves in system, and here we have a nice back set again. Clearly want to make some money out of that, but a beautiful block by Orewa, well finished.
Yeah, I think in that situation, that set from Rangitoto, it just didn't go wide enough.
Too short, yep, absolutely, quite right. But interesting, you know, what you're saying before about the blocker coming off. In a situation like that, a team will always want to put on that faster backcourt defender, particularly when they're basically seeing as well, they're not winning those long rallies and they need more dynamic people on the court to help them keep tidying up the mess, so to speak. And that was a good decision by Rangitoto to try and get themselves into position, and a great swing there by the Rangitoto hitter, nice and quick. Block not established on that outside, and that was an easy point for her to make if she just carried on swinging through that ball.
And on that defense that you were mentioning, it's very common that you find your libero come on. That's the player that's on the court that has the different colours shirt. They come on as a free substitution, and usually you bring them on for your middle, but Rangitoto has now decided they're going to leave their libero off, and they bring on a defensive specialist, which is also a very interesting technique. Yeah,
one's great at passing possibly, and making sure the ball gets to the setter on the opposition serve, whereas the defensive specialist is probably there just to tidy up a whole lot of stuff around the court. Just in a perfect example there. Great dig by the defensive specialist to help Rangitoto get their attack organised. Orewa was answered beautifully. Nice defence again by Rangitoto. Yeah, great swing. But again, Orewa are up for this. Can they stay in the rally and keep these points going?
This is a very long rally.
Yep.
Bit of exhaustion coming in.
There it is. Great work by both teams, just keeping that ball alive.
Short ball on the setter. Who takes it?
Oh, who takes it? There's some confusion there. Orewa, there we go, playing it deep, trying to get themselves a little bit of time.
Opportunity here for Rangitoto.
Beautiful
and
defense.
Still defensive going on.
But see, Orewa not really aware of what's happening, still not coordinated in terms of their attack. Great defense, and there we have it. Unfortunately, those Orewa girls started to lose pattern, and once that happened, it was going to be a little bit easier for Rangitoto to get their kills through, because not everybody was quite sure where they were on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very, very long rally, and Rangitoto did well to stay in there that whole time. A lot of those balls going into the deep corners, sometimes those spaces that we're talking about, but Rangitoto did well to clean them up.
And as a coach right now, I would have been calling a timeout just to let my girls settle from a big long rally like that, because what you want to do is you don't want Rangitoto to get the next couple of points because you're a little bit tired and probably a little bit oxygen depleted. And here we go. So
opportunity here now for Orewa on the free ball. Goes out to left-handed number 5.
and you see that unfortunately her tendency, the hitter's tendency is the same. And thankfully there's a mistake there by Rangitoto, which has it actually let Orewa off the hook. So the left-hander there for Orewa, she's going to have to think a little bit about her hitting technique now and trying to do something a little different. They're reading her very well in that position 6 in the backcourt.
And now it's a race to 5, 20 all.
Race to 5, yeah. Great serve, there we have it. And one of those serves that's going outside of that area through the middle of the court, creating real pressure on passers who aren't normally passing. And all of a sudden they've cashed in. Orewa College for the first time in the 20s up above Rangitoto. There we go, another great serve in the same spot. Set her in trouble. She's unable to set up her defence well. And a great swing there by the Rangitoto girl to clean that out. And that's where Orewa's just got to tidy up their blocking. There we go, the coach is in there just giving them a little bit of a heads up about blocking strategy, making sure they're positioning right, and particularly about being committed to the block.
Yeah, that's a big part of this sort of game is sometimes you don't, as a middle blocker, you don't make it to the outside or the D blocker. So do you go straight up or do you reach across and fill in the gap? It's a very, I think I've always been told you should just go straight up, leave the gap and let the backcourt fill that in.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately there we're just having a look there the setter's just tripped up on the way through to try and save that ball. Orewa back in the point again, which is great. We're going to see hopefully we're going to see ourselves a right ding-dong towards the end of this set. Most of the time for me as a coach in terms of blocking, what I'm after is the players to commit to the block and to feel like even if they don't feel like they're going to get it, I want them to have the sense that they are going to get the block. For me that's the most important thing, because actually the blocker defines how the defence works behind them. And if you've got a committed block, you have a committed defence. And as soon as the blocks start to get a little bit wavy and trying to make decisions in the air about where the ball's going, that's when usually the whole system sort of breaks down a little bit.
Absolutely. There's a good little combo there actually by Rangitoto. Kaya Buckley is setting a nice bump set out to Hanoko, who's actually hit that line quite a few times.
Absolutely. Beautiful line shot there. Yeah. By Orewa.
Yeah, right back at them.
Back at them.
Line to line.
Line to line, yeah.
Here we'll see it again on the replay. A nice deep shot.
Here we have
that
it.
back
Look
corner.
Beautiful. Yep, couldn't get better than that. So again, as we move into this end, we're into the end game now, and a lot of the time it's the team now who's going to be brave, proactive to make points, and it's another nice strong serve again through the middle though. So it's making it, and again the attack has been set up well. Good defence by Orewa, still in the point, and here we go, a nice tip over the block by Rangitoto. There we great. That's great. Now that's a great strong option by Orewa. That didn't work at all in the first set.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the second set. That's actually one of the first times that pipe attack's actually come off.
Yeah.
And paid dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. And clearly that's a strategy they want to use. And now for it to start paying off at the end of this second set, again, that's about being brave, isn't it? And just staying in your system, believing in what you're doing, giving yourself some options. Beautiful play by Orewa.
So Rangitoto now just calling a timeout. It's a set point. Orewa has 2 set points here. Now, what they'll be trying to do here is partially have a team talk, but also ice the server. They want to cool that server down who's just had a little run. They've got a couple of serves, and want to make sure that they're now thinking that server a little bit too much, and maybe we'll have a serving error. Yeah,
I think that And definitely, I'd be calling that timeout as well, because I just want that server to have a little bit of a think about it. Also, the reality is that there's a whole lot of, a lot of thinking about how oxygen gets to the brain. Taking a bit of a break, just gets that oxygen flow back again, refreshes how you go about your options of thinking, and it helps you to refocus the point. But here we have it. Orewa have come back and taken the second set. Rangitoto were actually a little bit passive at that end phase, and Orewa have a great serving run to finish, good pressure serves, and again it's sort of fortune has definitely favoured the Brave on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's great. It was exactly what we want to see in a bronze medal match. We want to be seeing an even match here. So Rangitoto winning in the first set 25-20, and Orewa coming out there and winning that set 25-23.
Yeah. No, that's a great piece of work by Orewa. And again, Rangitoto, that now their job, they had a 1-set lead. Clearly, it's not going to be as easy as they probably would like or whatever, but they've certainly got the weapons through that middle player and setter combination. They've got some really good, smart outside hitters, and knowing the quality of these teams, she's all on again. Both teams have got, I think, the advantage in the way that they play, and now it's their ability to assert that dominance and to go forward. And again, I would always sort of put myself on the side of fortune favours the brave. You've got to be the team that wants to go out and proactively attack. Both teams have showed that towards the end of each of those sets now that they are capable of that, and it's just going to be who's literally going to dominate. So it's a little bit of that alpha male thinking, if I can use that terminology. That gives us the opportunity to see that somebody's going to have to dominate. Somebody's going to have to put their game ahead of the other.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting battle now.
Yeah, and in the third set, it's a clean slate. Both teams now having 1-1. It's now who can win the next 2 sets.
Yeah.
And then you're away, because that fifth set decider can be anyone's way. It's only a race in the tie-break fifth set. It's only a race of 15. So both these teams, whoever clinches this next set, will be wanting to take the fourth as well with some good momentum.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love it. Good battles. And again, you see the last 4 days of volleyball, it's gone out of their legs now. This is a new game, new day, and they're all battling well. Loving it.
The good thing about these morning games, you get to play your bronze medal, and then you get to chill out and watch some good volleyball throughout the rest of the day. Because there's a lot of teams out there, especially those finalists, they're sitting back in their accommodation. They're going, we're playing at 3 o'clock, we're playing at 5 o'clock. They just think about that game the whole day.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can lurk on your shoulders a little bit.
Yeah. See, that's a great swing down by Rangitoto. I think that that young lady is going to get a lot more work in the set. She's been pretty tidy in terms of her attack, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they start moving away a little bit from that variation through the middle and get her a little bit more involved.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a great move there. The swing down the line. She's hit that a couple of times. Serving error there, just going for that again, high risk, high reward, serving from one corner to the other, trying to go short there.
Yep. Trying to do something a little bit different to disrupt the other team. But here we go, Orewa, 1-1 in the third set. Back in the game. Yep, that's a nice serve through the middle, beautiful short serve, taking the power out of the ball itself, and that dropping right in front of the passer. And we'll see that a lot with this new ball. If you can take the energy out of the ball itself, it does tend to just fall pretty flatly in front of you, which is a great thing to be able to do. Unfortunately, it's not that. There we go. You see a beautiful now, much tougher serve. Hard to read what's happening with that ball. It really is. Yeah,
and it's interesting to see what Rangitoto has just done there. So the first one was a passing area there by the libero. They've pushed the libero out and brought the opposite in to pass. And then they're now a passing area by the opposite. So what do you do here? They've kind of made a little bit of a 4-person passing lineup, and they go down onto the passer hitter.
And it's another beautiful serve, wasn't it? Down the line, stretching again. Rangitoto into different options, and Orewa. Here we go. They certainly have come to play. Now it's, of course, I suppose that character will come now from Rangitoto. Are they going to fight against this? Are they going to allow this to happen? And as a group, that's a decision that they'll have to make about whether they're going to stay passive or whether they're going to start really trying to roll through this and go, hang on a second. Hey, we're not letting this happen just like this. No. 1 moment, please, sir. Another great serve. And again, disruptive serve. It's put Rangitoto under pressure because it's not that kind of standard volleyball. It's really good movement of the ball by Orewa just to keep disrupting the attacking options. Well done by them.
I don't know if there's a bit of miscommunication there. There's actually 2 times that the middle hitters actually tried to just take the setting position. Now, as a middle hitter, I'd love to set, and you get caught in that situation and the setter's right there, but you're there too, and you go, you know what, I've got money hands, and you double it, or you carry it, or you do something wrong, and then you go, maybe I shouldn't have set that. Well, it's a little bit happening there with the Rangitoto. Got a couple of bit of miscommunication with the setter not being able to set in the middle, taking it.
Absolutely, that's right. And unfortunately, that's we call that the God complex. when middle players think they can do somebody else's job. We get that out of there quickly. a good setter will shut that down real soon.
Yeah, I think it's a personality thing. I think middles are definitely the ones that have the big personality and think, I can do everything.
Yeah, and it's interesting that oftentimes, particularly in school sport, there's a big tall player. We'll get them going through the middle. They can't do too much damage in there. But actually, as you'll probably see today in the men's final as well, it's going to often come down to those big middle players with hopefully big personalities and big game. They make the difference in a lot of times. Fortunately, it always looks like the outside hitters are killing ball and they are the heroes. But in fact, a lot of that comes to the fact that the middle players have done all of the sort of grunt work to allow those outside hitters to have a free rein.
Yeah, big shout out to those middles actually. They work probably the hardest out there and probably get the least acknowledgement from the other spectators, I should say. Yeah.
They are always the ones congratulating the guy who just killed the ball.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have had any. He would have had 3 blockers on him if it wasn't for that middle, right?
Correct, exactly. And a good outside hitter will know that.
Yeah,
they'll know how to value their middle players for just that thing. Okay, we're just losing a little bit of tempo and a little bit of work in that space. But again, here we go. Rangitoto for the first time in the game, just not coordinating their hitting, not quite getting through. But what they've also done is they've started to up the ante a little bit in terms of their hitting power, trying to put more pressure on the ball, and it hasn't quite paid off for them just yet. So they are looking a little disjointed as well. So again, it's going to be a game of whose game is going to establish earlier, who's going to dominate their style of play against the others. And here we have a little bit of a back and forth, isn't it? But Orewa College in the lead.
Just looking at body language on the court, it's actually a little bit of a change. Audi was looking a little bit more awake. I think they finally had their coffee, and it looks like Rangitoto's just gone a little bit complacent, and maybe their coffee's wearing out.
Yeah. But that's it. This is the chess that we play in these games. Each team has got certain strategies and certain cues that they're going to use to try and help them pick themselves up.
Great set there.
It's a great set. Yeah. And what we'll find is that. Usually now with a battle going back and forth, somebody's going to turn up to play. Somebody's going to go, okay, I'm the big game player, it's my turn. And it'll be interesting to see who steps up into that space. We certainly saw from Rangitoto that their middle player was that dominant sort of aspect of the game. They've gone away from that, and Rangitoto haven't quite come back into their game as much as they probably should have. And I think that's because they're trying to now set up a little bit more on the outside and try and get some more action out there. But Orewa continue to pile some pressure on. An unfortunate mistake there, but they still, we're 7-all, I think it is now. 7-all in the third set. Very evenly poised game.
And on day 5, it is sometimes a bit of a who does the least errors in this sort of stuff. But it's a big trade-off. We've been talking a lot about the risk and reward. You go out, go big and strong, or you play, soft and easy. But with both of them, that risk is those hitting errors and those passing errors because you are exhausted. It's day 5. It's been a long week. I know some of the coaches out there will be just as exhausted as the players as well. You probably too was.
Yes, mate. It hasn't been too many hours sleep over the course of the week. But as a coach of a very fine group of young men, it's a huge pleasure to be part of it anyway. And Monday morning is going to be tough. But going back to work is going to be tough after this. Just seeing all of these awesome athletes. Awesome people, awesome community out here just doing the businesses. It's awesome. It makes me want to come back every year and do it again. And here we have Orewa on serve. Again, a bit of a ding-dong battle. Great pass by Rangitoto. Again, that left hand is just trying to roll a shot over the top. Orewa, a proactive attack and still in the play. Rangitoto have defended well though. Oh yes, great play by the setter. Good pressure.
Yeah, good vision there to see that hole right in the middle of the court. The defense on Audi were doing well to be back in that deep corners, but that created quite a big gap there between the blockers and the backcourt. And the setter there, number 9, Kaya Buckley, find that space real easily.
And it was nice, it's a little bit of that kind of non-standard volleyball, putting the pressure on in places that they're not, that the other team who have got a good structure aren't quite used to, and so they just don't quite read that sort of stuff as well. Oh, great swing. Beautiful swing by the Orewa hitter.
Yeah, but good defense by the defensive specialist there. Ella Rhodes all over it.
Okay, nice swing through the middle by Rangitoto. That's a good, strong option for an attack.
Here's an opportunity, though, for Rangitoto. Free ball.
Good. Great set by, that's a great dig by the setter. What she did there, got a little bit of out of kilter from where she's supposed to be, so she decided she had to dig the ball out to the hitter, but she made that ball better. She gave that hitter a really good chance to have a swing at it, and did a great job for the team. Nice finishing action by the hitter. Unfortunately, Orewa unable to sort of to do much with that. Orewa back on attack. Yep. Easy ball there, pick up again. Rangitoto coming through. Nice attack through the middle. Orewa again, strong in that non-standard play. Rangitoto still just trying to get themselves back in system.
Oh, and that's
an unfortunate setting error from the Orewa setter. But good pressure, Rangitoto that time. They stayed in the rally. That's one of the first ones where they've had a long rally and actually come out on top. But that's the whole point of the exercise. Keep the pressure on.
Yeah, they've got a little 3-point lead early here in the third set. If you are just joining us, this is the bronze medal match here at the secondary school champs down in Palmerston North, the mighty Manawatu. The epitome of volleyball, indoor volleyball for secondary schools here in New Zealand.
Oh, there we go. That's a great rally. Now we've just seen the two outside hitters finally have a good run at it. Both the Orewa hitter having that's the first time she's really cracked that ball, and of course the response was equally emphatic from Rangitoto. Nice strong serve, a little bit conservative through the middle again, picked up nicely by the libero, and a hitting error from Orewa. And all of a sudden, Rangitoto College just slowly but surely.
A timeout call there. Good time for a timeout, I think. As crucial as this third set is, you get 2 timeouts per team. Per team,
30 seconds each pop. And what we've seen there is Rangitoto, they've kind of weathered the storm here a little bit. Orewa have been relatively tidy in patches, or tidy enough. We were 8 all at one stage, and here we are. Rangitoto College have pulled out now to a bit more of a lead, simply on the basis of probably the errors again from Orewa. Again, that sort of middle of the set kind of drop, and obviously the coaches now just giving them a little bit of a break, give them an opportunity just to reset and start again.
Yeah, what would be some things you'd be talking about in this timeout if you were Orewa right now?
I think for me, knowing that there's at least another set to play, what you've got to do is you've got to get the girls hydrating, just giving them rest time, making sure they remember to use energy when they need to and save it when they don't, and to go back out and continue to play the game that they know works for them. And unfortunately, another hitting error there from Orewa. It's not quite on song yet, but yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd be talking about. The girls don't need revving up. If anything, they just need just to have that break, and because the formula worked for them in the second set, and so you go back and you have another crack at it. And here we have Rangitoto just doing the right things. Wow. Beautiful response from the Orewa player. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, big left-handed. Now the left-hander, I say, in volleyball, it obviously plays a big part. If you're defending a right-hander, which most people usually are defending a right-hander, you know how to position your block, and you get used to that. You get accustomed to that, and you get a good little routine. But when you bring in a left-hander, like we see out there on the pass, out on the outside, you just got another window. You have to reach out a little bit further onto that line.
Yeah, they are difficult people to control in that respect. But that's also, I suppose, part of the beauty of it, isn't it? You've got to keep playing that game of chess. Do we block this? Do we block a left-hander more line so it takes that one option away, so they've only got one option left? How do you work these guys? Do they make a lot of errors? How do you create those situations where errors occur? Great hit there from Rangitoto player. Orewa still in the point, still ticking along. Again, setting up nicely. Good strong block and a beautiful hit down the line by the Rangitoto player. But hey, that's out. It's been called out. I would have called a touch on that by the looks, but the referees see it better than we do. Oh, we have called a touch on that ball, yes.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one, yep.
You know, sometimes it's a little bit of a cheeky play. If you know you've touched it, you just leave it to the ref to make that decision if they touched it or not. They should be watching the game. Yep. And the second ref there definitely saw the touch off of the block there. Bit of confusion by Orewa, then no one's owning up, but the second ref's pretty confident. She's definitely saw something touch the ball.
Yep. And it's tough, of course, you know, in big matches, and if Orewa just kind of standing there, sort of going, "Hey, hang on, I see what's all this about?" And that just gives you a bit of an indication that Orewa and this game matters. That they're not quite happy just to, it doesn't matter about the mistake. But unfortunately, there, Rangitoto putting the ball straight into the net, giving Orewa a little bit of karma, maybe, from their point of view.
It's the classic, the ball always knows. Everyone's, worships the volleyball, and they say the ball will do what's right. And that ball going into the net might have said, hey, actually, there wasn't a touch.
There wasn't a touch, maybe, yep. Unfortunately, Trent, I don't know about you and your playing days, but in my playing days, I was always right.
There's a few players out there that are always right. I'd hate for them to meet each other on the court. No one's wrong, then the first ref must be doing a bad job.
But again, there was a great swing there by number 2 from Rangitoto. She's that player who they've started to use a little bit more on the outside.
Yeah, she's got a high percentage kill rate, actually. Sorry, jumping there was.
No, quite right. Again, poor pass. Orewa back under pressure. What to do with here? And another swing off the block. So I can see from Rangitoto what they've decided to do is not necessarily look for the kill. They're just saying, hey, there's a set of arms up there. Let's, as you said before, tool the block. Let's use it for what it's worth. And Orewa aren't quite as committed to their block as they should be, and that's probably where the problems, they're creating a bit of problems there. Nice set. Good swing. Great defense by Rangitoto. What a great pickup. Another swing down the line. Another good pickup. Here we go. And both teams on a good roll now. And there we have it. A dominant block by Rangitoto. And even though both teams seem to be just ticking along, if we keep a bit of an eye on the scoreboard, it's out to a 6-point lead now. Actually, 7-point lead to Rangitoto. They've just kept on keeping the pressure on, and that's been enough to create those errors by Orewa, and their game's not quite as stable. And again, another great block by Rangitoto. They see some opportunity here. Good defense. Plays put them in real trouble. Orewa again saving the ball well. Yeah, great option. Great disruptive setting by Rangitoto. Yep.
Yeah, and we've seen some great blocking there by number 8, Kirsty Lamming from Rangitoto. She's actually quite a weapon on the net. Getting a lot of sealing up those blocks really well, getting to the outside, getting to the D, and having to move quite a lot. So very impressed by that, actually.
Yeah, she's again, that's our conversation before, wasn't it, about how important good middle players are, and if nothing else, she's creating pressure. She's making people think about where they're hitting the ball. When you're that big, and you're out there and starting to dominate, hitters start going, I don't want to be the one who makes her day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Unfortunate hitting area there from Rangitoto. So again, Orewa trying to find some answers. 19-12 down in this third set.
Yeah, the score actually doesn't really indicate how I thought the set was going to go. The Orewa started off very, very strong.
They did,
very firing, and Rangitoto seems to have found some composure midway through the set, and have now got a good little lead of 6 points.
They certainly do. And again, so what's happened here is that Rangitoto just had a block against them. That means that they just the coach now from Rangitoto is just going to try and disrupt the rhythm of the Orewa girls, and that's a good move actually at this stage, because if one thing that Orewa haven't quite got into, I don't see that really nice game rhythm from them. They're scrapping and they're fighting hard, but Rangitoto, like I said, they just keep picking off the points one after the other. It's been a really impressive set by them so far, but of course we're back into it. Orewa won the last point on a dominant block, so let's just see if they can continue that momentum.
Yeah, I'd love to see a bit more aggression actually coming from Orewa late in this third set. I think a big key for them would be just to find some good momentum. If they're not going to win this set, and I'm not saying they're not going to win this set because I don't want to put any curses out there, but they would definitely want to find some rhythm now, and that will build up for that fourth set, which is very crucial.
Totally right. And again, you see now we've just seen a hitting error from the from Rangitoto off a bad pass, not well controlled, and so then the rhythm dies for them as well. And this has got to be a bit of a formula for Orewa. Served, there we have again another error on really tough serving. And if there's one thing that we know, if you can put that pressure on and break the rhythm of the attacking team, it can certainly work in your favour. So that was a very strong proactive serve. And sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say this is actually the same rotation Rangitoto was struggling with before. So where they had the 4 passes, they pushed out the libero.
Yeah, good
point. So you'd be wanting to get out of this rotation pretty quick, but someone falling into the net there, which is unfortunate for Orewa. Doing very well to win a couple of points there and close that gap just a little bit.
And a good option by the setter as well. What she decided to do was go back through the middle. She's had some setting on the outside, established a bit of a rhythm out there, which is also for the blockers a bit of a rhythm, and then she's just broken that by setting it back through the middle and created an error, which has been great. And here we are. Great, another great block by Rangitoto. Can they pull off another one? Not quite, but they did set up enough strength to do that. Good attack through the middle. Yep, great swing. Great defense by Orewa. Still in the game. Getting the ball over, getting themselves back into system.
Free ball here, though.
Free ball there. Not a great set because, unfortunately, the libero pushed the ball to the setting spot a little bit hard, which made the setters work a little bit difficult and created the error from there. So well done to Orewa for staying in that point. It wasn't an easy point to continue. They just got the ball back over and then let the other team sort of deal with what was coming.
It's funny when you get those free balls, you find that the free balls are sometimes actually more of a difficult one to pass than the hard ones because you've got time to think, and sometimes thinking's not what you want to do when you're playing volleyball. You just want to react to it. So those ones that kind of come over, you sometimes just push it too tight or you don't push it tight enough and you go, gosh, why don't I just take my,
How easy could that have been?
Yeah, exactly. It was like taking candy from the baby, but the baby was a little bit stronger than you expected.
That's right.
So a 5-point lead still hanging in there, Orewa, but they'll need to start firing here.
And there's Rangitoto. Great defense on that middle play by Orewa, who also tried to mix it up a little bit and have created the hitting error by Orewa.
Yeah, Orewa's just kind of playing like a little bit of fish and chips, which are what I like to call a bit of a basic game. They seem to keep setting out to the pins, the outsides and the Ds, not using so much the middle, not using so much the pipes, and I think they need to just need to spice it up a little bit, bit of variety, spice of life. Yeah,
totally agree. That's a nice hit there by Orewa that gives them back in the point. But see, what we're seeing here as well is that I feel that Rangitoto, they just keep chipping away. You know, they just keep getting those points. And this is a sign of a good team that are stable in what they're doing. They're controlling what they can. Every now and then, of course, errors are made. But you can kind of go, yeah, okay, I can throw that one in the bank a little bit if I can continue to maintain my structure and rhythm. And I think that Rangitoto have done a better job so far. But here we have a serve hitting the net, just rolling over. And we've now got ourselves back to a 4-point deficit. And Orewa back on attack. Nice pass, and again, we've seen an error, but a great save by Rangitoto. That was awesome.
Well, you were cheering a little bit too early. They're thinking that they won the point.
Yeah, and here we go. Again, a back set. Obviously, the rhythm is to try and break that up in transition, and we have a hitting error from Orewa. Well done to Rangitoto.
Yeah, number 1, Kiana Stevenson, just throwing out a right hand there, hooking it, and it's going between those two antennas. Very well played.
Yeah, that's a good strong serve. Pressure's on. Well done to Rangitoto. Brought up set point, and all of a sudden, this what seemed to be a pretty even matchup has turned out to be a dominant set by them. Done very well here.
Yeah, they're not letting Orewa get a taste of any sort of rhythm here at the end of the set. And there we have another passing error.
I tell you what, that young lady from Orewa in the next set's going to have a big red cross on front of her shirt because they're going to go after her, obviously. She hasn't proven herself to be too strong in the passing under pressure at the end of the set. I know as a coach I'd be sitting there going, rightio, let's go after her. I think we can make some mileage from that. But a great set by Rangitoto. Let's put that into perspective. They dominated that set in the end. Although it didn't look dominant, they just kept those points ticking away, and that scoreboard just kept crawling along. And they did a great job of managing that set.
Yeah, Orewa came out firing in that third set. Just they knew that it was the one that they needed to win, and I think that threw off Rangitoto a little bit with their composure, but with their rhythm. But the composure in the end was formidable. It was just
formidable.
They all had very strong mental game in the end there to play as a team and not the kind of scrappy uncertainness that we can see in a few teams when you're under pressure like that.
Yeah. And I think we're starting to also, between you and I, we're starting to crystallise here what the two styles of play are. Rangitoto, highly structured, playing within that and confident in their structure. Orewa, probably, I'd say, a little bit less structured, but really willing to fight it out. Yeah. And we've seen those longer rallies where they've stayed in there really strongly. But again, I would say that the more dominant style of play at the moment is that discipline within structure itself.
Yeah, you're right, and it's a battle of defense versus attack. We see Rangitoto is a very strong attacking team, playing a lot of different runs, different moves, but Orewa being more of a defensive team, they're actually getting a lot of those balls up. And in terms of attacking, they are still very strong, but they are playing like a basic game, like I mentioned before. Just putting it to those players, those key players that keep doing the same thing, and hoping that Rangitoto's defense doesn't keep it up.
Anyway, moving on to the fourth set, I suppose. Here we go. Again, Orewa is going to be asked the question, and they responded beautifully in the second set, and now it's time for them to step up and to push on through. Rangitoto, on the other hand, it's always the toughest set to win when you know you're only one set away from victory. Yep.
It's do or die here for Orewa. If they don't get this set, it's game over.
There we go.
And it's a good way to start it off.
That's a great way to start off, isn't it? Good, strong, dominant serve. And again, we're seeing that ball not quite in the middle, but just moving off to the sides. I'm obviously, as a coach, and from a conversation so far, I'm a big fan of not serving down the middle. I want to see the ball onto people who are not common passers, and creating as much pressure as you can. Another great serve, swung in there beautifully. Good control by Orewa. Do they finish the point? Unfortunately, no.
The outside hit there, just number 10. Emily Mueller just asking, was there off the hands? She believes that she wiped that off the top of the hands, but first ref Stu Henderson says, I've got eyes like a hawk. I saw nothing.
Yeah. And he's in the prime position. He's got the best place to even hear a touch on that sort of hit. So unfortunately, these are the ups and downs of the game. Karma may come in a different form. There we have it. Beautiful swing. Great answer. You can be pretty frustrated when you don't get, when a referee doesn't believe you. And then the only way to fix that is, as we saw there from the Orewa hitter, is just put it in so nobody's going to challenge the call. Great work by her. Good answer. Yeah,
definitely pretty good by Orewa actually. There, number 10, Emily Mueller, obviously not getting the touch, and then coming out saying, you know what, there's the point I deserve, and she gets a good swing.
Let's get this done. Yeah. And then she answers with a great serve, again in a very difficult position for Rangitoto. Unfortunately, another ball came on the court which stopped the play. But that just shows that risk-reward serve was a very good one and put huge pressure on again. They've done the same to Rangitoto. The pressure is there. They are not able to side out correctly. So now it's all about how Orewa then respond. Great defence from Rangitoto. Good swing off the block. And Rangitoto saved themselves from that point very nicely. And, of course, that would be, again, if the Rangitoto girls are working their way through that, they can see that those Orewa blocks just aren't quite set. So that means you can literally, for us, we look to try and swing at the ball a wee bit quicker and get the ball to the blocker faster because you know that they're not quite in position.
Nice. Now that one coming off the hands? No.
Nothing there as well. And it's a nice swing, but unfortunately the young lady on the outside hasn't been particularly effective. She's had a couple of good hits in that third set, but she's still unfortunately maintaining a bit of a sort of a rhythm of hitting the ball out a little bit too much, even though that they've created good pressure. It's another nice serve from Rangitoto, and all of a sudden you see Rangitoto starting to chip away at those points again. The lead's just starting to crawl out early on, of course, but this is the way you get ahead. Keep banking points for later in the set if you have to. Another beautiful float serve by Rangitoto. Great swing on the ball. Now Rangitoto out of system. Just got to play the ball over.
Bit of miscommunication there between the opposite and libero.
Great swing there by Orewa, deciding to change it up, get it through, ball through the middle. Yeah, excellent option.
We haven't seen that too much from Orewa, but obviously looking pretty effective there. The problem with when you start to play this kind of basic game is that the blockers on the other side, Rangitoto, almost already making a decision. They go, yep, it's going to go back to outside, or it's going to go to D, and they can tell by how the setter's moving and positioning their hands of where it's going to go. Yeah. When you chuck something in like a middle or a pipe, spices it up, and it just makes them start second-guessing what they're doing.
Absolutely right. And here we go. Orewa's got to make some hay out of this one. Again, they've got Rangitoto well and truly in trouble, but they're doing great to keep in the rally. So Rangitoto playing a pretty simple blocking game, which has been working well. No attacks are really hitting the ground yet, so let's just see what happens here. Oh, that's a great block by Rangitoto. Great structure. Got themselves into position well. And again, like you said, they're a little bit conservative on the setting. Oftentimes you'll see that when the setter stands still instead of getting up onto the jump set and trying to move the ball a bit quicker. The setter's just saying, hey, I just need to be precise here instead of more proactive and aggressive. Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't work if the blockers have got their time to get into position. Yeah,
for sure. So we've got our defensive specialist, Ella Rose, coming back to serve.
That's a great strong serve. Put Orewa back under pressure again.
Opportunity here for Rangitoto.
Nice dig by Orewa. They're not just taking it lying down. Oh, hard luck again. No luck on the outside there, but beautiful defense. Put themselves in a position to win a point. The unfortunate mistake just to finish that off. And again, as we see, Rangitoto just chipping away. It's now gone out to a 6-3 lead.
Yeah, we've seen a few hitting errors there from Orewa. I'm not too sure if that's them becoming complacent or exhaustion, or if it's just a little bit of setting errors. But there we have another one. I hate to say that I helped that, but that is just being pretty obvious here on the Orewa team that they're just starting to not hit the ball as high and as strong as they were in the few earlier sets.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's one of those things that that player has been a good player for Orewa through the tournament. I know that I've seen a couple of the games. She's been very, very strong. The reality is, there's a lot of gas being lost over this week, and some of these hitters have got teams to the position they're in, and you feel sorry for them that at the end when the old legs just don't work as well as they should. It's kind of hard because this is the back end of it.
And there'll be some teams probably out there in the crowd that have played a couple of these teams earlier in the tournament, probably absolutely got dominated by them, and they're watching now and going, man, I wish we took them on day 5.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But let's not take it away. Both these teams are obviously very strong teams to make it all the way through to this bronze medal playoff. And we can still see some great rallies being played by both teams. And
absolutely, yeah. And look at that there, just beautiful. Dominant block by Rangitoto. Nothing too spectacular, but just got herself into position well, and the rest of the team was ready to react to that. And that's a big point. Funnily enough, they're celebrating more for the block than they are for when somebody kills the ball. It shows you how important that is, just to be able to shut down an attacker.
And it has been a high blocking game, actually. There's been a lot of blocks from both sides of the court, which is really great to see, because blocking is definitely an art that's not everyone's favourite. I think everyone, when it comes to volleyball, the one skill everyone loves to do is spike. And then it'll probably go setting, passing, and blocking is probably one of the last things. But obviously when you get a big block, it feels good, It almost feels better than when you get the big hits.
Yeah, absolutely. And just coming back to this game, Orewa are gassed. I feel for them right now, legs are gone a little bit. They've got some work to do to pull themselves back into a game position here. I'm loving what Rangitoto are doing. They're staying calm. They're staying, they're energy efficient. Unfortunate error there from the Rangitoto hitter, just touching the line again on that 3 metre.
Yep.
This is the game, isn't it? It's these games are just. This is not the result of anything other than 8 games previously, being absolutely on the edge in terms of energy levels, trying hard just to play and structure as best you can.
There is again another
the same error.
Backcourt violation, stepping over the line there. Big toe just preaching over the.
In the start of the week, errors like this wouldn't be occurring, but this is just the grind of these tournaments. And again, Orewa back in the game. We're 7-8. Rangitoto having a little bit of trouble sorting that out. Great shot, great clarity of shot there.
From the
It's for the two beaches that we are. That was that was pretty nice to watch.
Something you don't really see too much, the old beach volleyball moves coming out, the cut shot there, finding some great space there, the blocker coming across to, or maybe even peeling off to defend, but that was very well played. All right, a little bit of opportunity here for Rangitoto again, a free ball attack. Boom, and there's that line again.
That's a beautiful line hit.
She has got the rhythm there, Hanuka. Yep. She has just found that line numerous times, and it's paying that dividends we mentioned earlier. She's getting a lot of kills off of that shot.
Yeah, and it's one of those old adages, isn't it? Big players step up to big games, and a third and fourth playoff, it may not be in the grand scheme of things. It's not exactly like fighting in Afghanistan where you lose a leg. Here it's just playing volleyball and playing it hard. Here we go. See that? Just that lack of control is really starting to show now.
I don't think I've ever had an experience losing a leg in Afghanistan.
No, that's right. But well, they've got a very fine volleyball team, but they're all one-legged volleyball players.
All right, another great serve there by the opposite.
Yeah. Good pressure. As you can see, poor old Orewa now really starting to struggle with that fitness. And the control of the game.
Scrambled out of the net, but hitting area there again by Orewa.
And good work by Rangitoto. They're just staying a little bit simpler. They look like they're using less energy at this stage, and of course, again, those points are creeping out. And for those viewers out there, one team is going to lose this game today, and it should be no reflection on what's been an incredible week for both teams. It's never easy even getting to a semi-final at a national championship. It's a big road to take. They've both done incredibly well to make this journey this far. And unfortunately, sometimes one team will fall at the hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's definitely some teams out there that would have come across some of these teams and been very close and also deserve to be here. But at the end of the day, it's these girls, that have pushed through to get here today. It's pretty awesome. Great pass there. Opportunity. D-set.
Oh, that's a great swing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good work by the Orewa team to stay in that rally. Rangitoto will be a little bit in the same situation. Maybe that they look a little fresher in terms of the legs, but I think in the long run they'll be pretty cooked as well. So whether Orewa can now create that new opportunity and try and bring this back and get themselves into a bit of a grind. Maybe grinding it out is enough, but we shall see. And
so Rangitoto just switching up their setters there. They're feeling a bit confident. They've brought on their reserve setter, Jenny McMillan. Let's see how she does, coming fresh off the bench, and they 1 for 1 so far. How good?
1 for 1 so far, yeah. And she should now go off and just have a rest because she's done her business. And then nobody can complain about the 1,000 on the score sheet.
And it's with volleyball, when it's 5 days and you're up here in the first division, sometimes these players that don't get so much court time, this is a great opportunity for them. And Rangitoto's done well. Their team has put in the effort here to get a good 6-point lead, and now they get to run some players who've been riding the bench probably for a long time, for most of the week. So great experience for Jenny here.
Yeah. What a great response there from Orewa as well. Nice hit down through the middle of the block. But you actually want to return to that point because I was talking to one of the coaches yesterday, and they said, you know what, this tournament is not won by the players from 1 to 6 on the court. This tournament is won by the players 4 to 8. You've those players that get on, give the big guys and the big girls a bit of a rest, give them some time down, get those legs fresh enough to play big games. They're the ones who win tournaments, and we saw that. I think in just a couple of days ago, Trident, who are in the final this afternoon, they played a game against Riccarton High School, and basically just put on their second group of players so that the Trident first team players can have a rest. Now they got beaten up the Trident boys got beaten up pretty badly, but at the same time, it's that when do we need our players at what time of the tournament? And so they made a very strategic, smart decision about when they're going to have that energy. And we saw yesterday evening when Trident played Manaroa in the semi-finals, they were utterly dominant. Yep. And you only get to do that when those bench players have come on and given you the opportunity to have fresh legs.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it is definitely a full squad sort of thing, and then it comes down to your management as well as your coaches, as well as all those reserves. So,
and that's where we're probably seeing from this Orewa team. They've had a couple of great work there by Rangitoto yet again. these Orewa girls, they've relied on some pretty key players playing them through to this position, and that now that their energy is not there, like I said, there's no reflection on anybody or anything. It's just that's what's needed to get us to the end. We're here, but it's just that last bit of gas at the end that's missing there now. Oh, great block by Rangitoto. They're just starting to dominate.
Yeah, one-on-one block. Those ones are a little bit of an insult for the hitter. They've got an opportunity there, a bit more space, but the blocker there, Kiana Stevenson, reading that real well, sealing a good, strong block right on the shoulder of that hitter there, number 5, Junker Pretorius.
And with this lead now, Rangitoto should be deservedly looking forward to celebrating a victory. They've got this thing in the bag if they just keep on playing hard and playing well. Yeah, great drop shot there by the outside hitter from Rangitoto. But yeah, desperately calling for that touch in the net, which actually I think probably was the ball on its own. And Orewa sort of cashing in on that little bit of hesitancy by Rangitoto. But yeah, look, Rangitoto's in a good position here. If they've got the fire in their eyes, they'll be able to carry this through to the end and win it, be deserved bronze medalists. But of course, it's still a long road ahead, and as we see, another error there through the middle. New setter, not quite connected with the middle player as the first setter. But this is where the learning happens, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to get all that stuff done.
I'm not too sure. I don't know too much about the second setter from Rangitoto, but you probably can assume that this is the leading up for Jenny to be one of the top setters later on in her volleyball career. She's probably a young player, and it's all about getting the development, getting the experience, and making sure you have that contingency plan with your team. You don't want just a one-off strong team. You want to have players coming through, so you can create quite an era of strong teams from your school. And
there we have we have just on that topic, there we have that change. They've changed the setters back out, the first setters back in, just to re-establish that rhythm. It didn't quite work out, unfortunately, to see that the young setter at the end. But the thing that she'll remember is that she was in a bronze medal match.
Yeah, and not many people get to be in the bronze medal match, that's for sure.
That's for sure, yep. It's one of those things that you've got to tick off mentally to feel strong about your future, to know that you stood in the pressure cooker and you did your job. You don't have to win a game for somebody, you just have to do your job.
Are you speaking to me directly there, Waz?
Yes,
I
mate.
feel like I'm not mentally in the game now because I never was in a bronze medal match.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I was never a fan of the bronze medal matches, I have to say. I tended to want to just play the finals. So that's where the fun starts to really happen, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
But there we go, Rangitoto calling a timeout, just wanting to settle things down. Orewa College, I've just had a couple of points run. They're sort of trying to claw their way back in. Orewa maybe looking at the end goal a little bit early.
Yep.
So we'll see how they pick out. I mean, I would have, as a coach, I would have made the same decision in terms of the setter. Get the other person on, give them a bit of a run, see how they can actually come up and be in that pressure cooker. And it didn't quite work out. That's okay. Nobody takes that to be a bad thing. But again, Orewa, very positive serve. Pressure's on, relatively sort of unstable sort of defensive try there from the libero to bring that back. That just shows actually that the legs are a bit cooked over there. They may not be showing it as much, but it's definitely happening.
Well, he was taking good advantage of the complacency that Rangitoto was kind of actually brought on. They brought on. I think when they did that substitution, when they had those timeouts, they kind of just probably had a feeling that we've done it. We had an 8-point lead, and we can see here now is trying to sharpen up a little bit, close up, and now what Rangitoto has to do is now switch it from that complacency and get back into the games. Refocus here.
Totally. And what I'd be doing now in terms of as a coach, I'd be just playing mini games. We want to win the next two out of the next 3 points. And that's our goal, just to keep that focus and keep that thinking really strong. And of course here we have Rangitoto replying beautifully, putting the pressure back on Orewa. Inevitably, you don't want to be there to break the spirits of the other team. That's not the point of the exercise, but you do want to basically get into those mini games and say, look, we want to be back dominant. We want to be back winning points because that's where we know we're in our happy place.
Middle set there.
Great option again through the middle. Nice little dink ball over the blocks. And of course, when you know that the legs aren't quite so fresh, you can play balls like that, and you're probably going to get away with that. And of course, Rangitoto have been doing that quite well during the game as well. The libero has, for Orewa hasn't been quite as effective as she was earlier on when the legs were fresher.
And we're now just seeing Orewa actually bring on a few of their bench now. We've got number 9 there, Amelia Brown, getting some court time. She's going to be playing in the defensive specialist position in number 5.
Yeah, great opportunity for her too, isn't it, to stand there and see, to be part of what's going on and try and work her way into a game. Unfortunately, there's another nice block from Rangitoto. They are now 4 points away from picking up some bling, Trent.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. So Rangitoto still just in the driver's seat here. And it's funny, we were talking about how they needed to find, if you were just tuning in, and we were talking a little bit about how Rangitoto had to find that rhythm again, even though they had a 4-point lead. It's actually more of a feeling. You can feel that this has just been a bit of a change of motion out there, and you may at home not have seen that so much or felt that, but it just takes a couple of points and Rangitoto's back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely right. And here we have another nice point from Orewa. They're still sort of sticking in there, but if I'm Rangitoto right now, I'm just thinking, hey, 1 point at a time. Let's just get one more.
Yep.
We're one point closer to the end goal.
Yeah, side out, make a point. Side out, make a point. Nice, easy.
Nice, beautiful pass, beautiful control. Oh, nice up by Orewa. Good presence of mind to carry on. Nice defense again by Orewa, and they put that into the backcourt. What a beautiful shot.
It's the first time, is number 5 out? Setter? Sorry, no, she's not. She's the opposite. She just went on 2 on there, which is really, really good, actually. She saw the tight pass, and instead of sending the ball, she decided, I'm going to go on 2.
Here we go, playing a nice little roll shot. And how does Orewa respond? Beautiful block by Rangitoto.
Good touch by the libero.
Here we go. See everything set up nicely. Again, disrupting. Great back set option. Rangitoto make a nice kill. Again, just a little bit faster on the hit than the blockers can react.
Yep.
It's been a bit of a theme for them for the game.
And Rangitoto's now just gone to just a bit of a basic game just to finish off this set. They're sitting their hot hands. Kiana Stevenson, she's been getting a lot of kills, and Hanoka also off the line shot. So they're just going to those pins at the moment, not running too much middle, but not really needed.
Yeah, not need to do too much. It's a little bit. That's a touch by the blocker, and Orewa back in it. I was just going to say it's a little bit like the watching Super Rugby in that last 5 minutes where the big boppers just start recycling the ball.
Yeah.
Nothing too wide or expansive. Just keep recycling, and that's how Rangitoto are sort of pulling this through at the moment.
Yeah, drain the clock.
Yeah, drain the clock.
And a good strong block there by Orewa.
Nice strong block.
So
there's a little bit of an edge to the end of this game. Here we have Rangitoto calling another timeout, just wanting to settle things down. I'd be doing the same in this situation, just saying, hey, just get some gas back in your legs. Take your time, recover, be ready for the next point, and just roll on from here.
You could even at this point in the game with 2 or 3 points left to play to win the set, you could be saying, all right, here's what we're going to do. This is the play we're going to play here. And then once we get the point, this is what we're going to do. And kind of just map it out. Let the girls not have to think too much and make a decision. The coach can be making the decision saying, this is what I want to work. Let's see how it works. If it doesn't, let's try this stuff.
Yeah, nice. And Orewa, of course, are now sitting 19-22 down, fighting for their lives. At the end of the day, they want to be still here in the big dance. They want to be putting the pressure on. And when they get a good serve like that, they know that they can create that pressure. Oh, nice. Nice defense. You see, that's the sort of thing that can win a game, just on the simple, disheartening aspect of not getting a ball killed. Orewa's got to work hard to win this point now. Here we go. Nice block. Good pressure. Ooh. Oh, and just a little bit out of
kilter there.
Yeah, a little bit out of kilter. That was just a little bit unexpected. No real need for that. That's a little bit of a sign of panic as well, instead of just keeping everything simple.
Surprisingly, Orewa has closed up this gap to 2 points, which is really well done late in this 4th set. And a do-or-die set for them to win. And
great swing. Nice block again. Orewa just hanging in there, aren't they? Yeah. Scrappy team. Love it. Oh, great swing. Now, can that be saved? No, it can't be saved.
So now it's a 1-point game. Wow. So we're right back into what can be a neck-and-neck battle. Earlier in this game, Rangitoto had an 8-point lead, 18-10.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing it's just a 1-point game. It's 22-21. All Rangi's wanting to do is side out here, but it looks like they're just looking a little bit dazed, actually, a little bit confused about what's happened.
Just that's it. The gas is running out for both teams, and so we'll see. Here we go. Nice swing on the ball, and that's out. All of a sudden, we're back on the game. Easiest way to see that is there's a little bit more noise out there, and the old coaches and the players are all sitting forward on the bench now.
Wow.
Starting to get interested.
This is amazing. I wouldn't have predicted this earlier in the set. A little bit of scrappy passing now. The passing's just not been as well as it has been from Rangi. They seem to just be trying to force the point.
Oh, and here we have an error, unfortunate error by Orewa. And they just keep, unfortunately, just at the wrong times they're making those errors, which is letting Rangi off the hook a little bit. But hey, game on, 23-22, heading into this end of this fourth set, and we really are in business time.
Good serve.
It's a nice serve. Good pressure there. So good option for the disrupting setter, but not hard for Rangitoto to sort out. This will be a swing down the line.
Wow.
Great block. Oh, and it carries on. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Orewa, all of a sudden, wakey.
That is impressive. Hanoka actually having won many of those line shots. Orewa blocking that when it matters most. Getting that block at a crucial point. 23-all is now a race to 2.
Yeah, man. And what I'm loving about this is Orewa's legs don't hurt anymore. They are ready to go, and this is what you want. Teams fight for their lives, and sometimes it works. And if you've got that good hard character, and you see that you can see the end line, go for it. Now this will be a strong serve. Yeah, good position of serve. Great pass by Rangitoto though. Good response. Great swing on the ball.
Middle takes it.
Yeah, middle takes it. There they go again. Great swing by Rangitoto. Rally keeps going. She's all on. What happens now? Oh, wow. There we have it. All of a sudden, we've got Orewa on set point.
This is a turn of events. An 8-point deficit to take a 1-point lead and the set point. A do-or-die set for Orewa. They have come out of the grave to get this back. This is amazing gameplay by Orewa.
I love it. This is what we love. Yeah. Great character shown. Now, of course, here we go. Some confusion. Not quite sure what to do. Easy setup for Orewa. They'll just keep it tidy. Play a nice shot over. Yep, great defense though. Rangitoto holding system. And there we have it. Something just a little bit outside the box by the Rangitoto setter, and that was enough to cause the confusion. This is good. 24-all. So just for you folks out there, if there's somebody who's actually been living under a rock and has never watched volleyball before, you've got to win by 2 points. This could go any way it can, but you've got to win by 2 points now that we're heading towards 25. So what are we going to see here? Great serve by Rangitoto. Great pressure. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
What a swing.
Cross-court swing by the lefty.
Cross-court swing.
It's a hard one to do when you're left-hander on the D side too. You're hitting across your body.
Yeah.
She found that space very well.
She did, particularly because the set wasn't actually that accurate for her, but she did save that well. Okay, Rangitoto, here we go. Set point again for Orewa. Can they drag this through? Let's see Rangitoto's answer. Great pass by the girls out there. Nice, set it up nicely. Swing down the line. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody's on now. Yeah, she swung it. She knew it too.
Yeah, when you see it going out to that number 2, Hanoka, you'd probably be thinking, block the line. You've got to get the hands to that line. She's hit it so many times. And they got the block before and unable to get it that time.
That's it. So, Rangitoto got some options in the front court. They've got their big middle as well. So here we go. It's set up a block. Yep, great positioning. Put the pressure on the hitter to not make any big play. Nice drop shot. Pressure's on. Oh, look at this. It's scrappy.
It is very scrappy. Who's going to clean it up here?
Here we go. What do we do?
Ball.
Free ball. And that's what you call a bit of a choke.
Yeah.
Yep. It's too much thinking going on there. I think she was just like, what do I do? Had too much time to think. That's Trent's enemy.
Yep. And your brain, your worst enemy out there.
Worst enemy, man. So great work by Rangitoto. Are they going to hold now? Good serve, good pressure. Here we go. A big swing on point. Rangitoto tidying it up. Untidy though, so just keep the rally moving. Great libero work by the
opportunity Orewa.
What do we do here?
Wow.
And it's
is ours. So that's brings up 26. Oh, we've got a humdinger.
Oh, this is what we're here for.
I tell you what, if you've tuned off earlier in the set, you probably would have thought, you know what, this game is all done and dusted. Now, if you've probably gone and had your breakfast and you've come back to see what wins the men's bronze medal start, and you're going, hang on, this game's still going on. We've got a big matchup.
There we go. Orewa still in the hunt. Another good option to the outside. Can't be killed by Rangitoto. Can they swing it? Oh, nice defense by the Rangitoto libero. Staying in system, just keeping the ball alive. Orewa in the situation. They've got to make a kill now. Another great defense by Rangitoto. They're holding this really well. And there it is. Great swing. And there we have it. Great set point for Rangitoto.
So this gives Rangitoto, I think, their first set point.
Yeah.
So an opportunity. They were doing very well with an 8-point lead early in the set, and now they're down just to 1 point. They'll want to make sure that they nip it in the butt here and finish this set so it doesn't go to that tight tiebreaker 5-setter.
Yes, and they've got a great server on point right now. Great pressure. Keeping them out of the system. Right now it's all about Rangitoto if they make an error. But they've got a swing, and there we have it. There's the win. Rangitoto,
nice,
look at that joy. Look at that.
Excitement there. I think that was a sigh of relief.
Sigh of relief, yep.
Orewa did very well to come back from an 8-point deficit to get in there. Losing that 4-set, 28-26. You got to hand it to Orewa. They had a lot of fight there to stay headstrong throughout that 4-set and do a die set.
That was a tough one. And here they are. Look at this. This is what I love. Celebrations. Giving each other some respect. They know each other so well. They probably are mates outside of school. So an awesome result for both teams to be here in the third and fourth playoff. Rangitoto deserved winners. You know, the better structure. But man, I love that scrappy fighting by Orewa. They did a great job of just hanging in there.
And you guys see there's some big smiles from both teams. It's really awesome to see. You can see Orewa, although may have not got the result they wanted, they were happy with the way that they played. And that's what it's all about. Both teams going away thinking they've done their best.
That's it. Yep, they can both be rightly proud of their efforts today.
Well, thank you for joining us here today in this bronze medal match. It's the secondary school championships here. Thanks for Volleyball New Zealand down in the mighty Manawatu. We'll join you real shortly with the men's bronze medal match between Manariwas High School and Western Heights High School. But I'm your host, Trent Webby.
And Warren Smith. Peace out.